everyone. Today we're going to be going through page 6 in your lesson book. As you can see, there's a lot of new stuff going on here. In fact, for each instrument, there's something completely and totally new that we have not done before. So I'm going to go through the yellow box for each instrument, and then we'll get to playing. So violins, you can see that you are doing third position on the E string. The new thing here is that you are reading notes that you have never read before, and they get pretty high. You start with your first finger on the note A in third position on the E string. B is 2 fingers, and then you can see, depending on the pattern, it's either C or C sharp with your third finger, and that fourth finger is a high D. It's actually an extra high D. It's higher than the other high D that we used to know, that we used to call high D. And you can see violins, just like on the previous pages, you can choose, there's an option of a 2-3 pattern or a 3-4 pattern, and we'll talk about that. Depending on what exercise we're on, you'll have to use those different patterns. Violas, I'm skipping and coming back to you. Cellos, you are in fourth position. We've done fourth position before, but you can see on the right there in your yellow box, there is also fourth extended position. So in both cases, your first finger is on A. First finger is up on A. Most of you should have a sticker marking where fourth position is. But in fourth extended, you're going to stretch your second finger all the way to a B, and that allows you to play C sharp with your fourth finger. So that's the difference here. Most of the time, you're actually going to be in that fourth extended, although I believe there is one exercise where you're just in regular fourth. Okay. Violas, the new thing for you is that you get to start reading the treble clef. Now, you won't be doing it all the time in this book, but they're just showing you now this is your introduction to doing it. So in your yellow box, it shows you, the good thing, by the way, is that you don't have to shift. You're doing all of this, I believe, in first position. We'll find out, I guess, as we go, but I'm pretty sure you don't shift at all. It shows you, and this is your guide, it shows you all of your notes compared to what they look like in treble clef. So you can see the first note there is your open D string, and if you go to the top, that's what it looks like in treble clef. So this can be your guide to help you figure out what the notes are, but as we're going through this, I will help you. I'll always tell you what the first note is so that you can have an idea of what we're doing here. So page 6, we're looking at the very first one. And the very first one is number 29, of course. Violins, you are going to be in third position using that 2-3 pattern, close 2 and 3, like this. Cellos, regular fourth position for you. And violas, you're in first position. That first note is your open A, and I'll give you a heads up that it is low 2 C naturals for this one. So make sure that you're putting your second finger close to your first finger. Okay, so everyone, we're going to play number 29. I'm going to play the violin version all the way up on the E string in third position and get ready to do a 2-3 pattern since I'm a violin. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. Good, nice job. Okay, moving on to 30. You can see this looks very similar, except now we do have C sharps in our key signature. So violins, you're going to now do the 3-4 pattern, the space, space, close. And in fact, for the rest of this page, you're doing the 3-4 pattern. Viola, same deal. You're starting on open A in first position, and now you have C sharp, regular high 2 second finger that we've always played. And cellos, now you're doing that extension, so your second finger is stretching a whole step, and that allows your fourth finger to play that C sharp. Okay, so that you'll hear this looks the same, but it actually sounds a little bit different with that C sharp. So here we go, number 30. 1, 2, here we go. Very nice. Okay, we will keep going here. Number 31. Again, viola, you are starting on open A. The difference here is that now you get to play a high D, 3 fingers on the A string. Again, this actual playing should seem very easy. It's just reading that clef that's tough. And if you look halfway through your line violas, it changes clef, okay? And all of a sudden, then you play your open A, okay? The thing that's funny about this is if you look before the clef changes, that note is called B, 1 finger on the A string. And then when the clef changes, that note looks like it's so much higher, but that's just your open A string. So this is really a visual thing. You know how to play this. If I handed this to you in alto clef, you could play it very easily. This is just practicing reading those notes. Violins and cellos, same deal here. Violins, you're now adding your 4th finger. It's a 3/4 pattern again. And cellos, you'll notice that you actually have to play a harmonic here. I think I had told you last time the harmonics don't come back in this book, but for you they do. So you have to play a harmonic, that high D. Okay, so make sure you catch that. Here we go, 31. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. I got lost. I started looking at the wrong one. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I'm starting on the 5th measure. That was on me. I got sidetracked. Sorry, guys. Here's the 5th measure. Ready? Here we go. Good. Hopefully you guys were more on the ball with that than me. I completely lost where I was because I was looking at the next one. Okay. Speaking of the next one, number 32, violins, you can see that you have now, you're starting on the A string in 3rd position. This is going to be basically a D major scale, a 2-octave D major scale. By the time we play it all the way through it, you're going to see you go up and down just with a different rhythm. Violas, your first note is open D. Again, this is like a D major scale. And cellos, you start on open D, but you do have to shift. I'm sure you can see that to 4th extended position, and there is a harmonic in there. Okay, so here we go. Number 32. Starting on D. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Hopefully you saw how that's just a D major scale, right? It's not that bad at all. In fact, the violins, that's the 2nd octave of the 2-octave D major scale that we've been doing in class. Okay, 2 more here, number 33 and 34. Violas, 33, again, that clef shifts in the middle of the line. And in this case, it's kind of the reverse of what happened last time. The last note that you play in alto clef is a C sharp, 2 fingers. And then the very next note in treble clef is 3 fingers, a high D. So that note looks so much lower, but it's actually a note higher than what you played before. Okay, violins, you hang out in 3rd position the whole time. Cellos, you start in 1st and then have to shift. Hopefully, we're getting very comfortable with the idea of reading that notation where it shows you where to shift and what position to shift to. I think the more you play through these, the easier that will get. So here is number 33. Ready, and here we go. Good, and 34 will be a challenge exercise. I don't expect you to be able to play 34 perfectly because this one is very tough, but if you can, that is awesome and good for you, and I'd love to hear it. So I'm just going to play through it right now so you can hear it, and feel free to work on that if you're looking for a challenge. Okay, so here's 34. So a lot to work on depending on what instrument you play. It might be reading a different clef. It might be playing notes you've never seen before. And it might be playing up in that fourth extended position. But we'll work on these together in our lesson. And if you have any questions, let me know. But let's make sure we're working really hard on these so that, remember, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. You become more comfortable with it. So I can't wait to see what you guys do with this, and I'll see you at your lesson.